Hey, everybody. Ted Danson here to tell you about my podcast with my longtime friend and sometimes co-host Woody Harrelson. It's called Where Everybody Knows Your Name, and we're back for another season. I'm so excited to be joined this season by friends like John Mulaney, David Spade, Sarah Silverman, Ed Helms, and many more. You don't want to miss it. Listen to Where Everybody Knows Your Name with me, Ted Danson, and Woody Harrelson sometimes, wherever you get your podcasts.
I like things my way, my coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains F-gartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART MyWay.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by argenx.
Welcome to True Crime Garage. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Nick, and with me, as always, day drinking responsibly and with a touch of class, he is the captain.
It's better than having a touch of gas, especially in this small studio. It's good to be seen, and it's good to see you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling your cousin.
Today we are sipping on a great beer called Beer Drinking is Not a Crime. A big cheers to Andrew in Alexandria for sending us this fantastic beer. And here's Andrew's description of Beer Drinking is Not a Crime. He says you'll find pineapple, orange, and tropical flavors. And it's juicy but with a very nice hop presence and super balanced. Garage grade, 4.5 bottle caps out of 5. And this great beer was brought to us by our good friends. First up we have Laura in Corpus Christi, Texas.
And a big shout out to Kristen in Osborne, Idaho.
Next up, we have Squirrel and Boom Boom from the Squirrel Hut in Folsom, California.
And a big shout out to Stephen and Christina Shepard.
Next up, here's a big cheers to Anthony, Brittany, and Corey in Canton, Ohio. And last but certainly not least, we have Robin in Berkeley, California. Thank you to everyone for filling up the fridge for today's show. If you want to help us out with next week's show, you just go to our website, truecrimegarage.com, and there's a little donate button there for you.
Yeah, and if you don't have a Ban the Van shirt, they're back in stock. And also, the True Crime Garage Plumbing Company shirts, they're a must for any true fan of the show. And that's enough of the business.
All right, Captain, everybody gather around, grab a chair, grab a beer. Let's talk some true crime.
So at this point, you have not talked to Tyler since 4:10 a.m. You've been searching. It's now past daylight. It's 10:30 in the morning. You don't know what to do, and it's serious, and you need to call Tyler's parents.
I'm not trying to worry anybody. Like, that was the one thing that I was terrified to do. I was like, I can't call his mom. I can't. Like, I cannot call her and tell her this. Like, we have to go find him first. And, you know, like, he's going to be so mad. Him and his parents are so close, and, like, he's going to be so mad if I call his mom right now. And Adam's like, Brittany, he was like, you have to check out of here in an hour and a half. He's like, then where are you going to go? Then what are we going to do? So I sat down and I called Rhonda, and I was like, this is a situation. I don't know what to do. And she was like, okay, calm down. I'm sure everything's fine, you know. And at this point, I had already called Franklin County Jail. I had already called all the hospitals. I had already called, you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking all options. Maybe he got a public intox. Maybe he's in jail somewhere. You know what I mean? Maybe he hurt himself and somebody took him to the hospital. I'm like looking at any and all of these different things to try to, I don't know, like make some sense of this really. So I tell Rhonda, and she's like, okay, don't freak out yet. She asked me if I had called all the jails and asked me if I'd call hospitals and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, okay, well, Kevin's on his way. He's on his way right now, and we're going to figure it out. And I was like, okay. So it took Kevin probably about 45 minutes to get there. So after I got off the phone with her, Adam's like, well, let's go drive around again. Let's go see if we can see something else. There's another street that I wanted to look at or something. I don't know. So we get back in the car and me and Adam drive around again. So Kevin gets there and, he's like, what happened? Like, what did you guys do? Blah, blah, blah. I told him everything, the story. And he was like, okay. And he was like, I'm going to go find him. I need to start walking. And I was like, okay. And this man literally probably walked 30 miles. He didn't leave till it was dark. He went through every single patch of those woods on foot that day by himself.
So now that you contacted his parents, when do you contact the police?
So Rhonda calls me right after Kevin gets there, and she's like, Brittany, it's like we're going to have to file a missing persons report right now. And I just like, no, like, I'm sure he's going to shoot us, like, Brittany. And it was just, like, right when she told me that, it got really real, really. Like, I knew it was real because I was already, like, sick worried, but then it was just, like, a whole other level. You know what I mean? Like, I was just already terrified, and now I have to, like...
So when did you call them?
I called them around, I don't know, like 11:30. They actually weren't even there until 12:30. I met them in the parking lot of the Hilton, and I gave the officer my I told him everything. I said, this is what he was wearing. This is what, last time I seen him, last time I talked to him. And literally the first thing this man says to me is, well, your husband, he's not elderly and he's not a minor. So as far as I'm concerned, a 29-year-old man can leave on his own accord.
Well, technically that's the law.
Yeah, no, it is the law. But it's like, I feel like, and even since I've been going through this, there are so many, when it comes to missing people, it is such like a broad area. Like there's not really a place to start. Like they literally are like, well, 72 hours, we'll let you know, type deal thing. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Well, in the missing persons unit, there's 8 detectives. They did roughly 8,000 cases last year. So they're kind of crunched for time anyways. And I think anytime that it is an adult that goes missing, they have to start with the idea that they could have went missing because they wanted to.
Right. Well, and I understand people that hear my story and people that see this, they're like, half of them are like, oh, he probably just walked away. And I can put this on my whole, like, I know that man so well. He's literally my best friend. Like, we were really good friends before we ever even got together. You know what I mean? Like, I know everything about him, seriously everything. And I know he wouldn't just, like, if Tyler didn't want to be with me, okay, he would tell me that. He doesn't play games. He's not childish. Like, he's a very, very blunt person. He's very upfront. He loves his son more than anything in the whole world. He literally named my son after a freaking football quarterback. Like, I'm being dead serious. Him and his mom are so close. I've never seen a relationship between, like, a son and a mother like that before in my life.
So even if he left you and didn't tell you, he would still be contacting his mother.
Oh, definitely. Like, you take me and my son, like, you take us completely out of this equation, he would not do this to his mom or his dad, but not his mom. Not his family, like, not his friends. He's with his job alone, he has so many responsibilities. He would never miss a day of work. I'm talking like he has never missed a day of work.
How was the first conversation with law enforcement?
It was not good. I filed a police report. He had, like, got it in the system around, like, 1 p.m. And, me and Adam, we still drove around and we were looking in all these places, and we'd met up with Kevin a couple times, and was about 5, and Kevin's like, Brittany, I think you need to go get Aaron. I think you need to go back to the house and get Aaron. And I was like, I can't leave him up here by himself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't leave him. But I had to, like, I needed to go get my son. And so I did. So Adam took me back to my in-laws' house in Circleville. I had literally just got there. So this was probably around like 5, 6 o'clock. And the detective called me, and I mean, he wasn't very nice. But at the same time, it's like, I understand that your job's not to be nice to me. You know what I mean? Like, your job is to find my husband. That's what your duty is. It's not to call me 27 times a day to tell me what you've heard and what you haven't heard. It's not to, you know what I mean? Like, your job is to find my husband. So, but now I know this, like, literally, like, 46 days later, I know this. But that day when he called me, this is, like, super new. Like, I didn't go to sleep. I still hadn't been in bed at this time.
Have you been trying to call Tyler's phone?
Oh, yeah, I was calling it all day. All day.
The cops did a pretty extensive search from what I've heard. When did that search take place?
Technically, he went missing on the 24th. They didn't do their first search until Tuesday. They're telling me they've been doing everything.
Yeah, when I talked to detectives, they explained to me the search, and it seemed very extensive. They also pulled a lot of security footage from the mall.
Yeah, so the first day, so this was Monday, and I'll tell you again, I didn't go to bed until Tuesday. I didn't go to sleep until Tuesday. Sunday night after I actually got back to Rhonda's that night, I put Erin to bed, and I told her, I asked her if it was okay for me to leave, if she would mind, like Erin was asleep, and she was completely fine with it. And me and a couple of Tyler's friends, we went back up to Easton, and we searched all those woods by ourselves. And this was like Sunday night, going into early hours of Monday. So we were there.
Who went with you guys?
It was me, Alex, and Nick. And these are just, friends of ours. So we got there probably around 1 in the morning, and we just started searching. Like, we went everywhere. I'm talking like we didn't leave there until, yeah, it was me, Alex, and Nick, and then 2 of Tyler's employees actually met us up there as well, 2 younger kids that work for him. As soon as we got there, I went directly to the Hilton. I spoke with the night manager. I let him know the situation, showed him a picture of my husband, talked to him for a minute, and he was like, yeah, let me see if I can start pulling footage. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I really appreciate it. Then we walked down to Easton Security. I let them know the situation. I talked to them. I told them, I'm going to be out here tonight. I just want you to know, like, these are my 2 friends. Like, we're going to go and we're going to search to see if we can. And they were completely cool with it. They were like, yeah, totally, go ahead. Again, it's also like 1 a.m., so nobody's there. And, we go out there, and we're there for hours. And when I went and talked to Easton Security, there was actually an officer for CPD in the area, and he was super nice. He came up to me, he told me, he's like, I just got on shift. He was like, I just learned about your husband, and we're still trying to get everything together. He was like, don't think we haven't started yet. He was like, but we literally just got we just got the report like 12 hours ago. It's pretty much what he was saying. And I was like, okay, well, I'm here, so I'm looking. That's what I'm doing. And in the Easton Security office, they told me they had already started pulling footage, and that they saw Tyler walking back to the hotel at 4:15. They saw him walking to the hotel at 4:15, which to me made perfect sense, because if we're on the phone at 4:10 and he says, I'll be there in a couple minutes, I see the hotel, I'm walking. And they said they had him on camera walking towards the Hilton. And that's what they told me. Come to find out, it wasn't Tyler. It was like Tyler and his friend, they have the same body type, like same size, the same height, you know what I mean? Like, and apparently the way those cameras work at nighttime, I guess they're not the most perfect vision, so they assumed that it was Tyler, and it wasn't.
But it was his friend. But how could it be his friend when at the time of that call or at that moment he's leaving or with you?
That's what I didn't understand, because when Tyler had called me around 4:10, he was right beside me. And then I realized that when me and Sheree got off the phone, we both kind of but we didn't walk up the street. We walked to, do you know the Easton area very well?
Yeah.
Okay, so we walked, if we were staying on the corner around from the Hilton, we walked to the left, and we both were kind of on that main strip, and we both walked down the street, but he did one side and I did the other side. I'm sorry, we were both on the same side of the street, but he went one direction and I went the other direction. And so I don't know if that was then, because when we were he could have been turning around, it could have been that time, because it's not like we both went out and were searching. It was kind of we were just walking down to see if we might see him somewhere.
Well, there's tons of shops around there, and there's tons of cameras. It's surprising that he's not picked up on any of the footage anywhere. So back to the search that night.
So we go and we search a bunch of stuff. We don't stop until it was daylight. It was 7 or 8 in the morning. And we're trying to, at this point, me and Nick and Alex and the other two, we're just trying to pretty much think like Tyler thinks. I don't know, it probably sounds stupid, but we're okay, if he said that he's walking out of the woods and he sees the Hilton, we went to every single patch of woods and around to see, if you could see the Hilton from this patch of woods, we searched it.
Well, and Tyler doesn't know this area. He's been drinking. He's exhausted. So it's possible that he's not even looking at the correct hotel.
Right, exactly. He's looking at the wrong place, and that's something we also considered. So there is I think it's a Marriott, a little bit down from, it's on the other side of the actual town center, the shopping center, and it looks like they're all made by, all these hotels in the area. It's the same company that owns them. It looks just like the Hilton. It's a little smaller, but it looks just like the Hilton. Puts out the same amount of light at nighttime. So we went around there as well.
So you guys are searching everywhere. You don't know when the cops are going to search or if they're going to search, but they end up searching on that Tuesday, and then they contact you after.
They called me and pretty much said, I just want to let you know that we searched the ponds behind Costco, and we've been working on pinging his phone, and we pinged his phone around Costco, but I guess what it was is I mistook it because there's a cell tower back there, and if you ping a phone, it automatically goes to that cell phone tower, but that radius is 2 miles. So his phone could be anywhere in that 2 miles. It doesn't necessarily have to be at the tower.
So they subpoenaed his phone records?
They subpoenaed his phone records. They still don't have them. And it's over a month ago. It was on the beginning of March.
Have they subpoenaed your phone records yet?
Not that I know of. But I mean, I've been more than welcome to, here's my cell phone. You can look through it, do whatever you need to do to it, type deal thing.
Have you thought about taking screenshots of your call log?
I went to because I have Verizon, so I got on my Verizon, and we did this with Tyler, because Tyler's on a phone plan with his parents, and I'm on one with mine. So I literally got on mine, and I took a picture of my call log, and I sent it to the detectives, and then I did the same thing for Tyler. So it's this is, I know it's not everything you need, but this is what I can give you as of right now. This was Monday, I think. Right. Monday or Tuesday that I got that to them.
And law enforcement during the search they were using dogs. They searched the woods. Did they search the ponds?
Search the ponds. I guess they have dogs out, and they said that the dogs actually hit on one of the ponds. So they drug it completely. They did a sonar. They had a dive team. And there was nothing in there. And then they actually searched that same pond again. The ponds in that area have been searched multiple times. they have had multiple different searches, like grid searches and different, like, I know there are, like, wooded areas there, and since he did say, like, woods on the phone the last time, they've been pushing towards the woods more, you know, like, when they do search, which is understandable, and they just don't have, it's like there's literally nothing there. Like, there's no, like, not a shoe, not a wallet, not literally nothing at all.
And Tyler doesn't have a transportation app like Uber on his phone that you know of?
That I know of, no.
Do you guys share social media accounts, or do you have access to Tyler's social media accounts?
We don't share any, no. Sorry. We do not share any. I don't have access. I mean, I think I know what his password is, but I was told not to try it type deal thing. I think that the detectives are actually, like, looking into his Facebook and stuff. But as far, like, I know he has, like, a Snapchat. I don't know what his password to that is. I know, like, the password to his Gmail, and I had actually contacted the detectives to make sure that I could continuously check his Gmail because, like, our friend that was with us that night, he's super, like, techie, and he's, like, told me, like, a lot of things about, like, apparently if you have a Galaxy, you can, and, like, you're signed up with Gmail, like, Gmail, like, literally tracks your phone. Yeah. And that was something that the detectives also ended up finding, and that caught him down by Abbott Labs. And then that's why they did another search on, I think that was the south part of Easton.
Right, so they get a hit at Abbott Labs. That's pretty far from Easton, walking-wise.
If I'm correct, I think it's about half a mile. And that's where it stopped.
Do you have access to his financial records?
Oh, yeah. So I basically, like, it's just flagged. And we have a lady at the bank who just checks on it constantly. And, like, anytime there's any type of notice that comes on there, like, she literally calls me to tell me that my Netflix came out, like, type stuff. You know what I mean? Like, anything that pops up on there.
But there hasn't been any activity from Tyler.
Like, nothing.
This is just weird hearing this from Brittany's perspective, hearing it directly from somebody that was there, somebody that was searching for their loved one, for, you know, as she says, her best friend. The weight to this story, it's just got a certain heaviness to it that's really, like, got my head spinning right now, Captain. I'm kind of, like, questioning a lot of different things here. I'm trying to think through a lot of things as I visualize the story as she tells it. One thing that I was thinking about along the way is kind of going back to their night out. They go out around 8:30, and she was very detailed in their timeline and what they were doing, and then he goes missing. I'm calling it 4:10, 4:11 a.m. is when he goes missing. That seems to be when he's truly unaccounted for and communication drops off.
Yeah, but you wonder, the call before at 3:37, is he lost and he just doesn't know it yet?
Right, and how far could he be from the actual hotel? The thing is, and I know this is kind of really out of the box and very likely not super important, but she keeps talking about how exhausted he would have been, or she thinks that he is,
right,
the last time she sees him. I didn't hear any mention of, you know, we had food at this place. You know, I'm factoring all these things in, how tired this guy could be, how drunk Tyler may have been. One, just disoriented from waking up in an Uber, and now you're in front of your hotel in an area that you do not know well. You know, and so I'm factoring in all these things here. He's not super equipped or dressed well for that temperature at that hour. There's a lot of things factoring into the thought that I have a hard time believing that if he were on foot, I don't know how far he would have made it until he would have just hit the wall to be completely exhausted.
Right. This is an area that has had its ups and downs as far as reputation. So the more he travels, the more likely he is to run into somebody. But this makes it very unique in this case because she has the records of when they paid for things and roughly what the bill was.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's saying, I think he had 3 drinks, that's based off of also looking at the bill and just knowing the total.
Right.
And going, well, I had a couple, so he must have had a few. And in most missing person cases, take Brian Schaefer's, for example, we don't know how much he drank. We don't know what he drank.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a clue. With Mara Murray, we don't know if she was drinking or not. I mean, this, we have detailed accounts of what he was doing hours before he went missing.
Yeah, and the thing, though, too, is, and this is why they say, hey, obviously don't drink and drive. Don't drive drunk. But, there's also that big movement, and has been for years, about don't do buzzed driving either. Mm-hmm. And I think all that's very important to keep in mind when we try to analyze this stuff from the outside looking in. When you talk about alcohol, I know my personal experience with drinking is you can't always figure out how intoxicated you might be in one specific setting. I know there are times where I'll have 2 or 3 drinks and I'm sober as a judge. There's other times I'll have 2 or 3 drinks and I feel like I've been drinking all night. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of factors that go into that. Exhaustion. How much have you ate? What have you been doing that day? And I just kind of keep going back to the thought and the feeling that I feel like Tyler got disoriented. I feel like he's in a place that he doesn't know very well. And at some point, I just picture him, thinking he is in a certain location, getting slightly turned around and going, I know it's right up here. I'll just keep walking this way. And then we've done this before. Everybody out there has done this before, where you get a little bit turned around in an unfamiliar area. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, you've walked quite a distance away from where you thought you were going or where you were trying to get to. And regarding that Abbott Foods, Abbott Nutrition is actually what I think she called it, Abbott Labs.
Right.
But there is an area, there's a building and a business over there. I think it could be a distribution center or like their home office. But there's a place called Abbott Nutrition that is over there. And that would be 1.1 miles from the Hilton. And at that location, it's if he made it there on foot, that's a difficult location. That would be about 20 to 25 minutes of walking distance, depending on, that's according to my phone. All right. I was looking that up. But in that area, there are plenty of buildings in that area that are not hotels that one might think in a disoriented state that they see it and go, yeah, I'm right by the hotel. Yeah, I'm very close to the hotel. I can see it from here and I'll be there shortly.
Right.
And I just see the situation of this guy maybe getting further and further of where he wanted to be. And by this point in the story, I'm terribly fearful of what could have happened to him after he got a good distance from that hotel.
Well, and let's be very clear, because it was misreported in one of the interviews Brittany gave. The report states that he called at 4:10 and said, I see the hotel and I'll be there shortly and I'm sorry. And it's reported that she said that he sounded confused. Mm-hmm. And that's not what she said at all. She actually thought he sounded pretty coherent on the phone call.
Okay.
What she was saying in that interview was when he got out of the car, when he got out of the Uber, when they got back to the hotel, she thought he seemed a little confused. And rightfully so. He just fell asleep and woke up. And maybe he was confused because he was like, wait, Hilton? Are we staying here? I thought we were staying somewhere else.
Right.
I mean, who knows? They just checked in a couple hours ago. It's not a place that they go frequent. So let's be very clear that she didn't think he was confused on the phone call. She thought he was confused getting out of the Uber car.
And one thing that I think is missing from her story, and what I feel like is it's a part of the story that she likely just does not know. But the one part that I kind of question here, Captain, is I know it's only like, what she say, 3:18 when the Uber pulls up, and by 3:37, he's kind of missing and there's a phone call.
Right.
Okay, so we have less than 20 minutes takes place, so not a very large window of time, but it also seems to me like she doesn't fully know exactly when Tyler and his friend got separated or where the friend left or went in a different direction than Tyler.
Well, right, because one, she went back up to the hotel room, charged her phone, but also she's been drinking at this point. And quite a bit. I mean, she said she had 3 drinks at one place and a few drinks at another place. So there's a lot of question marks here.
Hey, everybody. Ted Danson here to tell you about my podcast with my longtime friend and sometimes co-host Woody Harrelson. It's called Where Everybody Knows Your Name, and we're back for another season. I'm so excited to be joined this season by friends like John Mulaney, David Spade, Sarah Silverman, Ed Helms, and many more. You don't want to miss it. Listen to Where Everybody Knows Your Name with me, Ted Danson, and Woody Harrelson sometimes, wherever you get your podcasts.
Curious if who you've been talking to online is who they say they are? The Sea of Love is filled with catfish. Make sure one doesn't hook you with lies. If you're trying to confirm the identity of someone you're talking to on dating apps, you need truthfinder.com. With Truthfinder, you can check public records to see if they're being deceitful about their age, identity, past divorces, and more. Make sure you're not wasting your time and energy on a scammer with truthfinder.com/dating today.
Planning a trip this year? Travel smarter and connect deeper by learning the local language with Rosetta Stone. With over 30 years of experience, Rosetta Stone's immersive, intuitive method helps you live the language, not just memorize it. Choose from over 25 languages, including Spanish, French, Japanese, and more. Their true accent speech recognition technology gives real-time feedback to help perfect your pronunciation. No translations, just natural learning that builds from words to phrases to full conversations. Whether you have 5 minutes or an hour, you can learn anytime on desktop or mobile. Get a lifetime membership and unlock all 25 languages. Learn as much as you want, whenever you want. Rosetta Stone. Learn confidently. Connect authentically. Don't wait. Unlock your language learning potential now. Listeners can grab Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. That's unlimited access to 25 language courses for life. Visit rosettastone.com/pod50 to get started and claim your 50% off today. Don't miss out. Go to rosettastone.com/pod50 and start learning today.
Buying a car in Carvana was so easy. I was able to finance it through them.
Whoa, wait, you mean finance?
Yeah, finance. Got pre-qualified for a Carvana auto loan, entered my terms, and shot from thousands of great car options all within my budget.
That's cool, but financing through Carvana was so easy.
Financed. Done. And I get to pick up my car from their Carvana vending machine tomorrow.
Financed.
Right, that's what I said.
You can spend time trying to pronounce financing, or you can actually finance and buy your car today on
Carvana.
Financing subject to credit approval. Additional terms and conditions may apply.
So since that search on that Tuesday, what's been happening with the investigation?
Thursday, on February 28th, one of the detectives called me asking me to meet 2 detectives at me and Tyler's house because they wanted to get into our Wi-Fi router to try to establish an iMac ID. Apparently it can trace the phone even if it's dead or get a better location of the cell phone at any time. But the thing about doing that is that if you're hooked up to your Wi-Fi router, it has like an expiration date if you're gone. So if we leave on a Saturday, it's only going to be in there for like 4 or 5 days. And they literally got here like 1 day too late to get this number out of my router. So the next day, Friday, they weren't able to retrieve the router. So they called me again and they said, we need Tyler's box for a cell phone. Like, what? We need the box. And I save everything. I knew it was in here somewhere. So I came back and I dug through my whole house and I found like 3 until I realized that Tyler's current phone that he has is actually a refurbished phone that he got a couple months ago, and that didn't come in a box. They sent it to us in bubble wrap. And then that Friday I just stopped because, like I said, we're from Wilmington. There's like 3 different law enforcement agencies in this town. There's like a Sadie's office, sheriff department, police department. I let them all know the situation, and I was like, I've been really like on edge also because the night that we went out, I didn't take my purse, so I gave Tyler my ID to hold in his wallet. So my ID is in there.
So what do you think was on Tyler at the time he went missing? Cigarettes, lighter?
He had cigarettes, he had a lighter, he had on his wedding ring, he had his wallet.
And also your credit card and your ID?
He didn't have my bank card. He just had, like, the bank card. Well, because, like, his bank account is our bank account's got, like, no money in it. But, like, the one with all of our, you know, just money. He's got the credit card. He's got my ID. He's got his ID. Yeah.
So back to the night that he goes missing, you know, you said that you went up to the hotel, so he's out of sight. His friend's out of sight. Is there any way that while you're not there, there was a confrontation between the two?
No.
When his friend came back without Tyler, how was he acting? Was he acting funny?
No, he didn't. Well, and that's the thing, because obviously the situation is super crazy, and people are going to look at me, and they're going to look at our friend just because of the situation. But neither of them, well, first off, neither of them are, they're not very they're not confrontational people, you know what I mean? Like, they don't, like, even raise their voice, really. They just don't, I've never seen any of them, like, again, I don't know his friend as well as he does, but I've never even seen Tyler get into any type of, like, disagreement or, like, fight, you know what I mean? They've known each other for 10 plus years. They went to college together. They're really good friends. Tyler talks to him every day. They play a lot of online video games together. Like, he literally helped design my wedding ring. They've always been really close, you know. He's come over to our house multiple times. I don't think that it was that he had any part in. I think it just was really a wrong time, just wrong situation. And at that time, like when we were doing it, like when all this was happening, obviously we didn't think it would be almost like, you know, well over a month, and we still wouldn't, like, we didn't think that was going to be the last time we saw him.
Well, and like we said, we're not saying the friend's name, but because you guys were the last to see him, there is going to be some suspicious, and you're putting out this information. Are you getting any backlash or harassment online?
It's been really bad, because so when I wasn't even able to do my first, I didn't wasn't even able to get it out there until like March 13th, you know, and by this point we had already went and we'd passed out over 2,000 flyers. We went to so many different places, and it's just, there were so many people that are asking for story, like, and I always tell the same story, but it's like, it doesn't matter what I tell the news or the media, it's like however the hell they want to spin it, which isn't fair, because I've talked to like 3 or 4 different people, and 3 or 4 different media pages have 3 or 4 different stories. So everybody looks at me like, why aren't you telling the full? And it's like, I am telling the full. I am not writing these articles. Like, I'm just trying to tell everybody what happened. Like, I'm trying to be honest. I'm doing everything and anything I can to get my husband home.
And while you're searching for clues and talking with the police, how has this been on you?
It's been awful on so many levels. Like, Tyler is my best friend. And it sucks really bad when you're with somebody for so long, and like you get into a routine, you know what I mean? Like, you're used to coming home and being there, like you're used to them coming home to you every day, and it's just like awful, because we have a really young son who asks for him every day, and he, for the first like week and a half, he literally woke up every night at the time Tyler was supposed to get off work, and he would sit there and he would ask for his dad, and he would be like, Dad, for hours. Last night, he literally brought me, Aaron has like an old PlayStation controller that Tyler gave him that's broken. He would always sit there with Tyler while he would play his games, and Aaron would have his little controller, and he like brought me his controller, and he was like, Dad, like, it's really hard because he's so young, and it's not like I can explain any of this to him. And then I go from being like a stay-at-home mom and a stay-at-home wife to it's just me. So, like, I am a single parent. I'm trying to be an advocate for my husband, and I'm trying to, like, get his story as public as I possibly can. And I'm trying to figure out, I've never had to pay all the bills before by myself. Like, I literally, last month was the first time I ever paid any of the bills. Like, I actually sat down. Like, I had things that I was responsible for, but I never sat down and paid the rent. You know what I mean? Like, he did all of that. And it's been a learning process. It's been really hard.
Yeah, and it just doesn't make any sense for somebody to up and vanish.
No, and that's the thing. And I'm like trying so hard to like let people know, because I understand, like, from the outside looking in, if I was just somebody that scrolled by and read the story, I'd be like, that's not right. Like, something's wrong. Like, you know what I mean? But he's not the type of person. He is a very responsible person. Like, he knows his responsibilities. Like, he has always been such a wonderful husband. Like, I am spoiled. Aaron gets anything and everything. Like, he's just a really good dad. My kid's not even 2, and he knows how to spell words. Like, there's words that he knows how to spell. Tyler has literally taught him so much stuff, and it just makes me feel like a bad mom, because I genuinely feel like out of the two of us, like, he is a better parent. Like, he spends so much time with our son, and you can tell that he genuinely, like, enjoys to play with him for hours. Like, I'm not talking about somebody who gets down and, like, throws a ball with their kid for 15 minutes. Like, this is somebody who spends all of his time that he can with Aaron, and he loves every minute of it. Like, he's always told me he wanted to be a dad. He was so excited when he found out that Aaron was going to be a boy. He literally named my son after the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Like, it's just, I can't explain anything. I can't explain this stuff to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, you hear the story, but they don't know me. Like, they don't know my husband. Like, they don't know the type of life that we live. You know, it's like, we're not very exciting people. We don't go out and do stuff ever. And it sucks to try to constantly, like, defend yourself and, like, defend everybody, and because you know that's not what happened.
Now, has Tyler's friend been cooperative with everybody?
Definitely. He's he's checked on me and Aaron multiple times. You know, we've been passing out flyers. Like, I've had a lot of help from all of our friends and all of our family, just like helping pass out flyers. We actually just did another round on, what is today? Today is we were on Saturday. So on Saturday we did like another 1,000 flyers, and he's actually the closest one, you know, because he lives in Columbus. So there have been multiple times where I've called him like, hey, I need you to go here. I've had a lot of people like donate flyers and stuff, or, you know, stuff that he can do during the week, such as like, there's a lot of homeless shelters in the area, and we've had all of them, but a lot of them have really weird hours. And he's super cool about dropping off flyers at all of them. And then that one day we found that stuff out about Abbott Labs, and he left work immediately as soon as we found out and went directly there to just see what it was like and what it looked like type stuff.
In a lot of missing person cases, we don't have identifiers on somebody's body to identify them quickly. But with Tyler, he has kind of a unique birthmark. Okay,
yeah. So Tyler has a really big birthmark on his right arm. It actually starts at the tips, like it starts on his hand, on his right hand, on his fingers, and it goes all the way up his arm, goes up to his shoulder, it goes to the top right of his chest, and the top right of his back as well. So it's very large, and it's red. So when it's cold, it like changes to purple, like it changes colors, but it's very, very noticeable. So even if like if you had to cover that up, you would have to wear like gloves, a long sleeve shirt, and like something around his neck.
So what do you think happened to Tyler?
What do I think happened?
If you had to guess.
I mean, it's just this whole situation. It's really, really crazy to me. I really think, my personal opinion, I think somebody took him. there have been, Ohio is like number 4 in human trafficking. There have been like 5 other men that went missing in Columbus around the same age as Tyler in the past like month, which blows my mind because it's like you don't see any of this stuff in the media. It's like I was asking one of the detectives and he said something about like inducing panic. He was like, well, we don't want to induce panic. I'm like, we should be inducing panic. Like, people are literally getting taken, and I don't know why it's like all of a sudden. I think I'm just now really noticing it because I'm in this situation, but there are people that literally go missing every single day.
If you could say something to Tyler right now and knew that he could hear you, what would you say to him?
I would tell him that I'm not ever giving up, ever. Nobody can stop me trying to find him, and I will find you. I really will find you, and I don't know what kind of situation you're in, but I need you to get out of it, and I need you to be safe, and I need you to get home. And I miss you so much, and I'm just trying so hard to get you home. I miss my best friend, and my son misses his dad.
Again, we're very appreciative of Brittany Davis and her giving us a chance to talk with her and spread the word about her husband, Tyler Davis.
And again, if you have any information regarding the missing persons case of Tyler Davis, please contact the Columbus Police Department at 614-645-4545.
Or contact the Brain Tyler Home Facebook group on Facebook.
And here's a little recommended reading for everybody out there. Please check out the book Anatomy of a False Confession, The Interrogation and Conviction of Brendan Dassey. And you don't have to write that title down. You can find that and all of our recommendations at truecrimegarage.com on the recommended page.
Make sure you check out our old episodes on the Stitcher app and our show Off the Record on Stitcher Premium. Until next week.
Be good, be kind, and don't litter.
Hey, this is Jeff Lewis from Radio Andy, live and uncensored. Catch me talking with my friends about my latest obsessions, relationship issues, and bodily ailments. With that kind of drama that seems to follow me, you never know what's going to happen.
You can listen to Jeff Lewis live at home or anywhere you are. Download the SiriusXM app for over 425 channels of ad-free music, sports, entertainment, and more. Subscribe now and get 3 months free. Offer details apply.